What's up, guys? I'm Dre, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to pull back some of the layers and give you a look inside how I go about recording, maybe even editing my podcast. Yes, that's right. For those who don't know, I have a podcast that's available wherever you listen to podcasts and or maybe music. And it's called The Daily Dose with Dre Hill, or Daily Dose with Dre Hill, something along those lines. It'll be linked probably for Spotify and Apple Podcast in the description. Feel free to check it out. This episode will probably be up before you actually see this video, so I might link specifically to this episode that I'm about to record. So just a little bit of quick background about my podcast. Daily Dose with Dre Hill is a show that's about relationships and experiences and navigating identity and self with regard to the larger society. I talk about sometimes politics or pop culture moments, but a lot of it is about self, understanding self and understanding self in relation to other people. So relationships, self-worth, motivation, we talk about it all. The healthy, the not so healthy, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. As far as background on what hardware and software I use for making my podcast, it's relatively simple. I have this fine, however you say that, but I have this microphone that I got off of Amazon maybe 3 years ago. I think I got this in 2021, but I'll have it linked. It was maybe $50 then. It might even be cheaper now. And obviously you can always search for alternatives, find something that fits your budget if you're looking for equipment to pick up. Outside of that, hardware-wise, just my laptop, just my MacBook. And then for software, I use Adobe Audition. That's where I go into record, edit, splice, put everything together, and export as the episode file. And then I personally use Spotify for podcasters or whatever it's called to distribute the podcast. And really quickly, I want to make a note that if you're watching this because you're interested in how other people do podcasts because you want to start your own, understand that you don't necessarily need to go out and buy anything to do this. I bought this microphone when I was already like several months into the Daily Dose podcast. I didn't start paying for an Adobe subscription, I think, until after I graduated school. So again, several months into the podcast being out. When I started, I was initially recording on my phone in my voice memos or whatever, and then I would just export that to my laptop. And then I think I would edit that in like Audacity or some other like free audio software alternative. So where there's a will, there's a way, regardless of what like your budget or your price point is. Quick note on the microphone. So all I have to do is plug it in and it's ready to go. You should see that green light there. That means it's ready. If I hit this button right here, it will not record. It's on mute essentially. Hit that, it's ready. And then right up here, volume dial. You just adjust that and it'll adjust what kind of input the mic is going to get and how that translates into your software. Now, because of what I want the show to be and what I hope it can be, I don't script episodes. So I maybe, hopefully, if I'm using my thinking cap, I come up with ideas prior to sitting down to record. So that might be throughout the week. I'm putting stuff into a notes message or a folder. I'm texting somebody asking them questions, or I have people send me recommendations, whatever the case is. And then from whatever I decide or whatever I pick or whatever comes to mind, I will maybe flesh out some key points, maybe, and really that's just me writing out things that I might want to say or touch on, or certain opinions I have, and then I just go from there. Before we jump into today's episode, I have to give you all a big apology. It has been like several weeks since I've sat down to record anything, and all I can say in typical fashion is that, life happened, things got in the way, and I intended to record, but the last several weeks have kind of been chaotic for me for a variety of reasons: holidays, Father's Day, traveling, real life adult things happen. So I do apologize. I intended to sit down and record, it just didn't happen, but it's alright because we're back and we're better than ever. So another thing about me and my style and workflow for my show is, because I want it to feel as natural as possible, I'll record segments of the episodes in chunks, and I also try to minimize how much editing I'm actually doing. So really the editing is to bring recorded sections and segments together in a way that feels natural, with flows and pauses and things. But other than that, the only other editing I'm doing is like cutting ums and uhs and extra likes, as well as any time that I like fumble or mess things up, or like expletive because I know that I said something wrong, and then I re-record that statement or that fragment or whatever. I mean, I say all of this to say that if there's something in you that's been burning and the flame hasn't gone out, like if there's still desire there, there's still passion and love and interest there, and it's just been sitting on the back burner for whatever reason, there's still time, energy, and space to come back and bring it to the forefront, to come back and make something of that, to come back to the thing that you loved and you put away because you had to be serious, or you had to be the adult, or you had to make money. It's time to come back to it, friend. It's time to say, let me do this thing for me. I don't have much else to say. I've said it before multiple times in this episode. If there's something that you are missing, there's something that you used to do, that you burned for passionately with all your heart and all your desire, and you haven't been in that, you haven't been in that bag, you haven't been doing it because of whatever, there's time to come back. There's room and space to come back. And I think you're going to enjoy yourself, your experience in your life so much more once you come back. That just about does it for recording the episode. All I'm going to do now is go in, like I said, make it sound and feel natural and flowy when I edit. Throw the music track underneath, drop that volume, and then we're going to export and upload into Spotify for podcasters. So this is a little bit of a peel back and look at how I record my podcast episodes. If you have questions, if you've thought about recording a podcast and you want to know more, feel free to drop that in the comments or DM me or whatever the case is. I'm willing to maybe make some follow-up videos about my experience and answer some of those questions, or to just answer them in the comments or whatever the case is. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This is Dre, signing out, and I'll see you next time.